so much music playing everywhere. So we'll see how this goes. But good morning, good morning. I am at a very cute vegan spot getting coffee this morning. I usually don't come out for coffee and things like that, but I wanted y'all to see um, some of what Sao Paulo has to offer. So I'm doing this series of just exposing folks to this world-class city. Um, what's happening, everyone? Look how cute it is. There's like plants in the back and boo 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 boo. There's actually a plant growing inside of the space. In Brazil, they just, the way they do stuff is so cute. I'm gonna see if anybody comes on and enjoy. In the meantime, my cafecito, my cafezinho, and my delicious gluten-free bread, which I was like, yes, give me that, because I love me some bread if it's gluten-free, if it's good. I've been eating terribly. Most of the time, I've been eating terribly since the mukbang last night. Usually my diet is heavy produce and things like that, but I've been coming out because I want to show you guys some of the sights. Mm. So, we're here in Brazil. As those of you who've been following my little series of live streams know, it's a vibe, always. You know, even where we're at, it's like really nice there. I was pleasantly surprised with the Airbnb and the location we're at, because I was always stuck on like this one area, the area I'm in now. Like, oh, I gotta be in Villa Madalena, because we used to live in Villa Madalena and we just know it, and it's super comfortable and cozy, right? I'll show you a little bit of it. But this time I got us an Airbnb just a little bit outside, and it was even better for me because it's close enough that I can walk into my favorite neighborhood and come and access all the amenities and the things. But also, it's like there's more brown people, it's more it's more mix of people, multi-racial, multicultural. It's not just one thing. So I'm loving that, right? I'm getting the best of both worlds right now. Oh, it's getting late. I know most folks is getting up trying to get ready to start their day now. So, you know, a lot of people have been asking me, not a lot of people, but a few people have asked me, like, why I choose the lifestyle that I have in terms of, moving away from family, living, in different countries, living abroad so much with my kids and stuff like that. And, everybody's situation is different, right? So yes, I do have a family with definitely some skeletons in the closet that kind of push me, back in a certain way. But also I have a very close-knit, very kind family too. So my family and I are fine. I'm fine with everyone in my family. I've always just been kind of a renegade and different, and kind of march to my own drummer, So it's like march to the beat of my own drummer. So this lifestyle just kind of chose me. I'd always traveled a lot. As a child, we were very unstable, so that was one thing. But as I became an adult, it was more about providing my children with different experiences and just being stuck in America and thinking that that's all there is, and going on little quick vacations into other countries and judging the other countries based upon that limited experience, right? Oh my God, yesterday I was watching this girl. I'm not gonna say her name. She's a YouTuber that I enjoy, but She's out in another country right now, kind of like in the Middle East. I won't talk about where. And I was watching one of her old videos when she was in either Medellin or Cartagena. She was in Colombia, and she was in like a fish, like a marketplace, like a fish market. She was there in a marketplace, and she was observing everything in her mind, because it's different. It might not look the standards of cleanliness that we're used to in the States, or it might, because the whole energy of this type of outdoor market was just so different for her. She like had a whole thing where she stopped it and was just like, oh my God, this just makes me so grateful for everything. And God, can you believe people live like this every day? And I'm thinking, wow, People didn't even know there was anything wrong with living like this. Like they're just living, without all the frills and bells and whistles and all the things that we have in Western countries. And yeah, we do have like a high standard of living in certain ways, but without you just being like super weird and judgmental about it, So everybody has their way, everybody has their way that they want to live. I thank you for the like, peace and love. Everyone has their just way of doing things, so it's just better just to be outside of judgment with that. But yeah, I'm just traveling just because I think it's good for my kids. They're so mature, they're so kind natured, so open minded, and I know a lot of it has to do with the lifestyle that we've had. It's not always easy though, being abroad and traveling with children and trying to navigate these different circumstances. But I'll tell you, lately it's been easier doing that than staying in the U.S., right? Because of just the costs and the expense and the rigmarole and all the shit you got to go through just to get things and to have a home and to do, man, I will take being abroad any day over that. And I don't even be abroad. I mean, I'd be like on the island, so our island life is different too. It's set aside from the regular continental U.S. It's just a different energy, the way we do things and maneuver things like housing and stuff like that. It's just a different type of program. But even that is still hard because it's still the expense and the inflation is hitting the island too, right? So, of St. Croix, for those of you who don't know, usually we're based on St. Croix. So I just am taking a reprieve, a breather, from all of that craziness, that U.S. craziness. And thankfully, and it feels so good. Like right now, for the one person that came on, thank you for coming on. We're at Padoka Vegan Bakery, and I was showing you guys how cute. This is kind of a typical thing you'll see, the spots, cutesy spots in this area that I'm in. Kind of indoor, outdoor, trees growing inside, just very cute. All vegan and gluten-free bakery, which I love because I can't really do the gluten that much, It's nice to be able to come somewhere and know I'm not like attacking my GI tract, right? By eating. Mm, delicious coffee. So yeah, so that's what we're doing out here. And my children, as soon as we got here, I think I told the story a few times now on these lives, but we were in Florida, we were trying to figure stuff out. We are like, well, maybe we'll just move back to the States. Maybe it'll be better, more opportunities, better schools, because on St. Croix, the school situation is grim. And so we were looking into all of that, and it was just like not happening. Nothing was flowing. I felt like, flight or fight, and then they have the freeze aspect of it when you talk about the limbic system. Like I literally was in a freeze. I just like could not make a decision. I didn't know what to do. We were like looking for how. I didn't feel comfortable there at all. And I'm from the U.S. So I didn't feel comfortable there at all. That was 3 weeks, and that's usually about as much time as I'll spend there. Like in the last 6 years, I've literally spent in the mainland U.S. maybe like a total of a month and a half, right? And so did my 3 weeks there. That was long for me. Got out. And we're here, and everyone, the sense of ease and the sense of relaxation that has come over my family, even though they've been battling sickness and stuff, is because the weather is kind of a weather shift for us, because we're usually in like 90 degrees every day. It's cooler here. And I'm loving it. I love the weather. So, just a sense of ease, it's a blessing. Hi, please put a like on the video, y'all, when you come on. So right now, for anyone new, I'm at this cute, swaggy little vegan gluten-free bakery, about 2 minutes from where I stay. And it's just a lot. You get a lot out here. I'm grateful. So Brazil's really like a vibes place, so you roll up somewhere and just get in with people. It's very social. So you can show up somewhere and just like start having like this amazing social experience right away. And, dancing. And, I'm a dancer, so I've been dancing samba and Afro-Brazilian, and I'm a salsa dancer especially. So I like to go out and dance, and we'll be doing that this weekend. Maybe I'll try to bring my video camera, bring my phone, and show you all of the salsa scene out here. I'm going to be salsa dancing with my homeboy Phil. And then, yeah, a lot to do here. What would you guys be interested in seeing? Feel free to put it down below if there's anything in particular you're interested in about Brazil. I mean, obviously, eventually I'm going to go up to Bahia too, because I have to. We used to live up there, and we have friends and stuff up there. But if you have anything you're interested in seeing, I know I'm going to go to the marketplaces. One thing about São Paulo, they have these amazing markets. I'm not talking like the store that I went to yesterday, but like marketplaces. Huge, gigantic ones with all this exotic food, exotic fruit. And then they have a ton of like antique fairs and different things like that. It's a really, really cute place that does markets really well. So I'll probably go to the antique fair in Villa Madalena this weekend. And then I want to show you guys the huge market, which is like the municipal market with all the exotic yumminess, sometime this week too. And just cruise around a little bit. So if you have anything of interest you want to know about or would like to see about this city, if you're thinking about an urban move, if you're someone who's interested in moving abroad but you want more of like urban amenities, this is a good choice. A really good choice. I love it here. Now, a lot of people, especially people of color, like our exposure to Brazil is we hear about Rio de Janeiro. We hear about Salvador Bahia. And they're both amazing. I lived in Salvador. I've spent, some year, more than a year in Salvador. And it's really nice. It's very like African and Afro-Indigenous like cultures permeating through that place. It's really fun. A lot of street culture and everything. But like I was saying on one of my videos, it can be really hard to be somewhere that also has like a certain element of like, poverty and stuff that's like really strong, and then you be a foreign person, right? Because people don't know how to take you. They think you're rich. They think all these things about you because you're traveling. So that can get awkward, Down here in the South where I'm at, everybody's just working. Like, yeah, you got hustlers and scammers and stuff, but at the end of the day, people are working. They're making their money. In other places that you might go to, like up north, where there's probably not a lot of jobs, or they really have to get creative about how they bring money in, unless it's just totally tourism based. And they're gonna get into some different types of scams and hustles, right? So that was a part about being up north in that area that just weighs on me in terms of any kind of possibility of living. I wouldn't want to live in that, I did it before, and I took a few times when we were staying in Itacaré, and they were pretty heavy too. So I try to be real cautious and make the right decisions about where I position my children and and we feel really safe and good here. It's certainly a big city. It's not totally safe, but so far I haven't had any issues. But I think it's important that if you think you want to create a lifestyle that's more fluid, location independent, that you really kind of just plan it out and plot it out for yourself. What is it going to look like? And plan over the long term, write it down, weigh out things, try to figure out the best locations that will kind of, maybe even put you close to the type of experiences you want to have. Like for instance, maybe being here, I have access to going to Salvador, to Bahia, to places that I love, to Rio, but I don't necessarily want to live in those places. So you want to either be approximate to, or go where you really feel it, and go and post up and do the long stays, the long, slow travel. I mean, that's what a lot of people are getting into now, even especially if you work remotely and it's truly remote. You can stay places, stack your money, go stay somewhere like Bali or, Thailand or wherever people are going these days, for the low, and save money and just continue to build. hmm Have money to invest. So yeah, gotta be clever these days because the way things are going, it's like shit. If you don't get clever, you're gonna be hard. You get clever about how you live in, how you're doing things, and where you're positioned. Even in the States right now, and just with all the heat waves and stuff, I'm so happy to be away from all that stuff. I didn't like none of that. I didn't like the way anything was feeling, the heat. I was really miserable in that heat. And I was like, this is just unnatural. It doesn't feel right. It just doesn't, none of that was feeling right to me. Like the stuff that's happening on that side of the world over the U.S. And then, like, it was hot in Orlando. It wasn't unbearable hot. For some reason on the island, it was like unbearable heat. Hey, Amani! Okay, estou aqui no na Padoca. Estou comendo pão de queijo, estou comendo café, um cafezinho e estou falando aqui no YouTube. Como vai você? Como vai? Amani, tudo bem? How you doing? Tudo bem, tudo ótimo. Yeah, man. So, yeah, language is key. Amani Bay, yeah, you're right. Like, it's good to really go where you also feel confident to either pick up the language or they can actually communicate with you in English. I see people out here traveling around, like, and they'll be in like Spanish speaking places and stuff like that and don't speak a lick of Spanish. I'm like, and these are places that have security concerns, and I'm like, you gotta be able to finagle the language a little bit. Long time no talk. I'm glad that you and your family are doing well. Teach me Portuguese. I don't know if I'm up for teaching yet. I don't know if I've gotten there, but I can teach basics for sure. I've been dealing with Portuguese for many years. But yeah, man. Yeah, we are doing well. We just got out here a few days ago. I haven't really even been telling people. I've just been laying low and moving quiet these days mostly. I'll come on here because this is really nobody that knows me really is even on here. But yeah, we're here. It's a blessing. It's chill. It's peaceful. We back in the big city. I just happen to love Sao Paulo. I love up north, and all the blacky black, all the beautifulness of our people, and the culture and all of that. But I also like the amenities that we have down here, and the lifestyle is really good. It's affordable. So I'm not up north. So yeah, the hot humidity is up north where we used to live. So that's more Bahia, going past Bahia into Recife, Pernambuco, the state of Bahia, like that's when you're getting into. And then obviously the Amazonias, those areas is where you're going to get like ridiculous heat and humidity. Here, no. No, we stay real cool here. This is why I be down here too, because I was escaping that heat. You can see it's gray. I was just showing you that it's kind of overcast. It's a very overcast type of place. It's giving, I'm not going to say Seattle because it's not cold and rainy like that, but it's a kind of an overcast place. And we get sun regularly too down here. But it's just chill. I like temperate. I like moderate. I'm older now. I like, temperate weather. So I don't have no interest in being in the south, sitting up in the 100-degree weather, with humidity. It's just not cute no more. So I'm kind of evading that right now. for the time being. Most of the time we end up staying places and we'll go back to the Virgin Islands. I don't know how it's going to flow this time. To be honest with you, like our lifestyle and the sense of ease that we feel here is so much higher than other places that I don't know. And I kind of know how to maneuver getting long-term residency and stuff here. So we might pursue it. We'll see. Well, I'm at the gluten-free bakery right now. Boy, they gonna get me for this video. Copyright. But yeah, man, this is it. We just live in. So the cultural stuff and all of that energy is here too in Sao Paulo. There's a lot here. I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest cities in the world. I think it's maybe 33 million in the surrounds. So it's definitely a place where you can get everything you need and want. They have a huge African community here. We got Caribbean community here. They got all kinds of other ethnicities that are here really, really present, especially the Japanese presence is really big here. We have our own Japan town. It's really nice. So yeah, this is a multicultural experience out here, which I prefer and I like a lot. And then I'm also someone, I love Brazil. The last time I was here, I was participating in a lot of plant medicine experiences and retreats, especially when I was up north in Bahia. So ayahuasca and hape and different plant medicine related retreats. So I love the access we have to those things. So those things come from the Amazons. And so everywhere you go in Brazil, you have like access to those things. I'm not really on a journey with that right now. But, you know, just knowing it's around and I can go and I can sit with some shamans and have certain experiences it's just nice to have that around too. It kind of just gives everything, you know, that I know I would want. And then my children love it too. The only challenge, I would say my biggest question mark with staying here would be like my son's education, right? Because we do homeschool, but you know, he's getting older. He's 12 going on 13, so he really needs, have his resources around, deal with his STEM programs, and this and that. Like, I really want him to have access to, like, all of the resources for education, and he's oriented that way. So, so I don't want to remove him from those opportunities. So we're here for now, but we may end up, having to head on back just to access more of that kind of stuff. Because that's more difficult here. Education is very expensive here. Like the levels of how we would want it, and people coming from other places. Bad school system, really sad. So yeah. So that's my big question mark. It's not even really a question mark. It's like, I can't really hang out long term unless I found something online that really fit and was ideal for us. Which I know there are some private and small online schools, for children his age that, can give him a lot. We've done it in the past. So we might consider it, but, he happens to like going to school. He's very social too, so he likes all that stuff. So we got to see. But my oldest daughter she just got out of working in a PT clinic for a year and some, and that was highly stressful for her. It was her first job. She's 19. She had stress-related sickness from it. I mean, it ended up being terrible. So I'm glad I got her out of that. So we're just setting her up with, remote jobs and getting her set so she can work remotely as well, like me. So we can just kind of have that freedom and just stick together and, have that freedom together. So that's where I'm at with my little small unit. So even though we love family and love seeing family, and we do have a nice family, it just is what it is. I see them when I see them, and we kind of have the lifestyle we do. I mean, people aren't coming out to see us where we're at. We've been based on the island for years and years, so yeah, so to go back to what I first started talking about. So that's that. And then my children's fathers, my daughter is older, so that don't even matter. That's her thing if she want to have a relationship there. But my son's father is just, I don't even know. So, yeah, family first. Sounds good. Yeah, yeah, I focus on my youth for sure, my children, and our little unit because we don't really have the fortifications. My grandparents and my children and I were very kind of codependent and looped in together before they died. But they just died back to back a few years ago. So at that time, I had more of like a base in Georgia because I would be around them a lot. But now, they're both gone, so me and the children are just doing our thing at this point. Yeah, peace and love, Virago boy. Yeah. So let me just show y'all where I'm at. Again, gluten-free vegan bakery called Padoka. And I like to come in and film in places because, quite honestly, moving around with your phone and camera out can be a little non-ideal, because they will snatch something quick. I had my phone stolen in Rio a couple of years ago, just walking up the street. I have, you think I look young? Thank you for that. I have a 19-year-old daughter. Yeah, yeah, and I wasn't a young mother either, so I got some age on me. But yeah, I have a 19-year-old and I have almost 13-year-old, and we just be trooping, boy. We be holding it down. My children are amazing. They're responsible. They're cool. And they've learned a lot from, seeing the world and being exposed to so many different things. I mean, we haven't lived all over the world, but we lived in parts of Africa, Europe, Hawaii, a few different parts of the Caribbean, parts of Central America, Costa Rica, Mexico, down here in South America a few times. So they have gotten to have like a pretty vast experience and exposure to different lifestyles and ways of doing things. And I think it helps them. I think it affects their character too. Like they have good character. You're South African, okay. Yeah, definitely want to come out there. I have a good girlfriend in South Africa. She's an American woman, but she's been living there for like, I don't know, 8, 9 years. But she is into what's the movement, the Afrofuturism. She's like someone who's really big in that Afrofuturism movement out there. Her name is Ingrid Lafleur. I am American. Yeah, I mean, I'm from, Turtle Island. 88. Yep. That's where I'm from. My folks are indigenous to that land, So, yeah, but I have spent time in Senegal and Ghana long term. So I've spent a lot of time in Senegal and Ghana. Not really too keen on West Africa at this point. My next trip to Africa will definitely be southern, eastern. Definitely, of course, everybody want to go to Zanzibar, but I have a lot of friends that are like family to me in Zimbabwe. So I know I'll be going to Zimbabwe eventually, and Kenya. Those are kind of the places I'm most interested in. Kenya, Nairobi, and so those will be my next movements. I'll probably check out South Africa too. I've always wanted to. Most of the people I know have been there, so I know it's a special place. Yeah. Turtle Island, yeah, man. Yeah, it's a special place too. It's sad that there's so much, conflict and all complexity around it, and so many lies have been told about the history of the place. But those of us that know. I mean, the brother Amani was on here. I don't know if he still is, but he teaches about that on his YouTube channel, just about, who we really are as indigenous to that land, And it's just important. It's important that you know yourself and you know where you're from, and don't let other people put stories in your head, because that's really what's been happening, So I love the Amaru. Yeah, well, the indigenous Amaru, right? Amaru. South America. Oh, you're here? Yeah. Hey, Amani. Yeah, for all that information and for further learning around, the topic of indigenous. Yeah, Virago. The indigenous folks of the Americas and who they really is. Amani is the one. you know. So yeah, I mean, I moved like that. Even when I first came to Brazil years ago, I came to Salvador, and I moved straight to Salvador up north, and I was immersed in the Afro culture and all of that, you know. And I always identified I was part of the Afrocentric movement and everything, but I began to understand more about who I am. So while it's fine to identify with that if that's your thing, but you know, I'm kind of on a different beat now because I know my people's was it like, why should I be denying who I am? You know, knowing when I trace back my family, all I'm seeing is people who've been in America, owning land and doing all kinds of stuff there for centuries. So it's like it don't really make sense for me to now be jumping on and claiming Africa and all these different things when that was never really that's something different, you know. Um, and then I respect it too. I mean, so when I was in Bahia, you know, that culture is very beautiful, but they're very African. They're very into the fact that they have that close connection to Africa. You know, and so I'm not trying to tell them they don't. I don't know. But I know what I have, being from Turtle Island. And a lot of people would definitely be trying to tell you, you crazy, you African, you this and that. I'm like, no, I don't. My people, since they from over here, I don't have nothing against Africa. You know, but my people over here, they from over here. That's what I know. And when I got that understanding, it's like something settled, you know, it's like a peace comes over you when you get real about who you are. So, hmm y'all, let me get a little bit more of this coffee because it was so good. Give me a second, please. Yes, yes, yes. So you know, we just here living and learning still. The Black Americans are from the Americas. Absolutely, exactly. Now, I don't know how that translates somewhere like here. I would love to speak to Amani about this because, um, like I said, they are very Afrocentric, strong with it out here. And they know that's their history and their culture. And it's a very similar culture to West Africa, you know what I mean? West and Central Africa. And they say they came over through, you know, the transcontinental slave trade and all this stuff. I don't argue because I just feel like my background is I went to school at Rutgers and was really years, decades ago, and was very much an Afro Brazilian, like on a historic, like on a path to becoming an Afro Brazilian historian. So I was really into that. So I was deep in studying slavery and all of that in regards to this part of the world. So I would love to understand, you know, obviously we know our story is different in Turtle Island, but I would like to understand more of how we see what happened in these parts, you know, the Caribbean down and all of that. I've always been trying to just understand like where the split was. But I know one thing, you know, our people have been all over the world. We were everywhere, inhabited everywhere first. I can't think of nowhere where that's not the case. So it's like to have to be claiming a different continent and then being strong about it. It's like, well, how come I can't just claim where I'm from and where my people's have been? You know, that's I don't know. You know, I don't know why we should feel shame or weird or like we sellouts or something like that because we say we're from America. I don't get that. That's what it is. Even I have been exposed to like African religion and traditions and the Ifa tradition of Nigeria for many years, decades now. And have dabbled in it and have worked with it, but I'm like at the end of the day still, I never could really do it all the way. I never could really like kind of like all the way because it's really not mine. Like, you know what I mean? It's not my cultural resonance. Like, so I appreciate things and I respect them, but I am, you know, who I am and what I am. And travel will teach you that too, to show you how to just be more true to yourself. You know, you see people who are so true to who they are. Yeah, some people came in the slave trade times when 90% of the black people were there already. I agree. I agree. That's what I'm thinking. But somewhere like northern Brazil, Bahia, where it's like there's so many black people up there. It don't make no sense. They say it's like the second largest population of, you know, people that look like us outside of Nigeria itself. Yeah, they call them Indians, all kinds of different terms. When you look at them records, they had all the terms. Amani, many of the non-indigenous, non-native people in Brazil were the ancient Portuguese who came from the islands off the west coast of Africa and some inner parts of Africa. But they were Portuguese. What? Now that I wanted to hear. I'm like, let me take a picture of that. Yeah, that's really interesting to me. So they were the Portuguese. I mean, we know that obviously the Moors and all the Moorish people were down there in Iberia, so I can see that. So they were obviously seafarers. So yeah, that's interesting. Hmm, very interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's just something I want to dive into more to understand things a little bit better because they just think they were all slaves and they just came over here and they just was enslaved and now they're Afro-Brazilian, you know. So I would love to dive more Black Europe, exactly. Dive more into Black Europe and then it's like I know I have pieces of the info, but it's not put together as a full story for me yet, especially in terms of all of the Americas. But yeah, Black Europe is the key, and that's the part that I think a lot of people deny or can't conceptualize that piece. That we're indigenous to those lands too. Oh my goodness. King Don João of Portugal in the year 14 in the 4070s banished them to the islands off the west coast of Africa. They were Spanish and Portuguese Jews. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm literally screenshotting this stuff. Yeah, if you could send me that source, that would be great. I don't know if you still have my info. But I will go ahead and put my imaraifawuyi@gmail.com below. I would love that source of money. A lot of lies have been told. This will really rock their world out here because they are very Afro-centered. They think everything is about Africa mostly. And I just be one, and I don't argue because I don't have enough information to argue with. So I would like to be able to, and you know, I don't argue in general. People can, obrigada, can you know, I, you know, people can feel like they are what they want to feel. But but it's good information to have, you know, if I do ever have like a discourse or any kind of conversation about it, right? Yeah, so we're here. We're doing our little, what they call pesquisas, our research down here. And, you know, that's it. We'll focus. I like to, you know, put my children in different activities. They study martial arts. So we'll be getting started with that pretty soon. My son is into Taekwondo, and they have done Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. So my daughter wants to get back into Jiu-Jitsu and, yeah, pivoting from that conversation, even though I love that conversation. So yeah, we're just here kind of just doing research. We'll put them back in martial arts. We'll, you know, enjoy the amenities of the city and figure out, you know, next steps in terms of mainly my son and, you know, what he's going to need, right? So that's kind of how I'm flowing. I'm very fluid like that. I go where the vibe draws us and we get what we need to get, and, you know, we flow on if we need to. I have just a whole different take on the parenting thing, right? Yeah, where y'all? So I got South Africa here. Amani, I'm not sure where you're at. I know you be over in Asia. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I love coming on these lives and chit chatting. I hadn't really, like, I've had a lot of people coming through my lives lately, but it hadn't been the conversations. So I like to build on things. I would love that resource too, for sure. Amani, you know, just being able to speak intelligently about, you know, these things to people, so that we start to change our minds and open our minds to other information. It's like so much stuff that we've been fed through the media, and people just, and when you don't know who you are, or you don't feel confident in that, it's just like you never really feel like you got good footing, you know, really on the earth. You know, it's just be feeling off. When I got out of that trying to chase Africa and chase all this other shit and just focus on who I am, you know, Yeah, I'm gonna put it down here for you, but it's also I'll tell it to you. It's Imara, Imara, Ifawuyi, Ifawuyi @gmail.com. Peter Pan. Yeah. Pangea. What you just so that has to do with Pangea? Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. I'm so glad you came on. What a treat. I gotta tell Janine. Janine don't even know where I'm at yet. Ooh, child. I gotta let Janine know because she was rooting for us to get settled back in the States. And, you know, it sounded good and we tried it. But when I got out there and just could not even think straight, my mind shut down. It was actually disturbing. And we were just there, just wasting money, sitting like in Airbnbs, trying things and stuff, but we just couldn't really. So I gotta let my girl know kind of where we're at and how we're moving right now. But I would love that material because then I can continue to bring. I have some people that I vibe with out here. They have a cultural center where we can do talks and stuff like that. So it's definitely an energy of being able to have exchange with people about things. Then I want to have as much materials and information as I can at this time for us to wake up a little bit more about the truth and how so much stuff got buried and oh my God, how much we've been lied to. Didn't you have another email that we used to communicate with each other? I had several. You might have been communicating with me on indigo seed, so like the plant indigo seed @gmail.com. I have so many, like 6, 7, I don't know. I done had so many emails. Indigo seed @gmail.com maybe. Lots. Yeah, man. What were you saying about the Peter Pan? I've heard something about the Peter Pan thing, Virago, but I don't remember. Hey y'all, for those of you who are coming in, we just chit chatting this morning. No specific topic. I'm here at a vegan bakery in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. It's vegan and gluten free, so everything in here is, vegan and gluten free. Which I'm not vegan, but I am very quite gluten free. And I like to, indulge in a little bit of bread and stuff here and there. I don't get to have those things much, but they hit my gut hard. But yeah, so what we were talking about, we're here, we have Amani Bay on, and we were just building a little bit about indigenous, the truth about who folks that look like me are in this part of the world, and all over the Americas. hmm Yeah, I've always been most curious about how that story, like what this was, like how so many brown people got down here. So I want to know more about the Portuguese and the old black Europeans coming out here. hmm Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to know, I had a question for you too, Amani. So, like, if you have, like, my last name, Dinkins, it goes back to, like, Dinkins is like an old name, like from Virginia. The Dinkins came through Virginia. Oh, I got those sources, thank you, they came in. And, I had traced the name to Dunkins, Donkey, I think, like, some Welsh. I think it's either, like, Scottish or like how can you look at your name and understand what it means in terms of who you are? Like, is there a ways to learn anything about your history through that last name? Yeah, thank you so much for those documents. I'm looking forward to looking at those today. I'm pretty much off today, so it's good. I had traced that name, back to it. Actually had a really interesting history, and I spoke to a Scottish woman who knew that name, the original name, because obviously it changed when it came over here. But yes, it was, it goes back to Donkey, and these are real, like, unique people. They say it means brown warrior. I'm just really into it. I thought that was interesting, right? So I'm just so curious about the name. Hmm. Yeah, so that's another area of interest to me. And yeah, she was telling me about a little mystic area of Scotland that group of people that had that last name word. She was telling me some interesting stuff. I mean, Presley, who were they were Welsh, okay, the Presleys. Hmm. I think my last name I think goes back to Scotland. Yeah, the Scottish. And that's from my paternal line, so that's my dad's peoples, and they're all right there in the Hampton Roads area. Okay, the Presleys were returnees coming back to America in the 1600s. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Yes. Yeah, I'd like to know more about my last name and what that means. I had spent some time kind of trying to trace my stuff back. I only got back so far, but I had uncovered a lot of names, a lot leading back to it. All of my family seemed to like lead back to like Virginia and the Carolinas and more up north, even though a lot of my people on one side are like more in Louisiana, and then on the other side very much Georgia and Virginia, right? All right. I think I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom, y'all. I hate to do this. Um, But many of those place names, such as Scotland, Ireland, France, were geographical locations in the Americas. Huh. From America, we set up colonies around the world, especially in Europe. Interesting. So they were part of the Americas, just like satellite colonies. Mm, interesting. Yeah, it's like reverse. Everything had to be looked at in reverse. The reason we know this is because of the land titles and America and in America. Mm, I need to take a picture of that. Okay. Right. And I had started getting into land patents and had found some too in Louisiana and family members' names. And that was as far as I had gone with it. But well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom right quick. If you give me a minute, whatever you want to write, I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes. Oh, sorry, you guys. I just realized I gotta go. The heirs are actually not in Europe like they've been telling us, right? Okay, I'll be right back. Let's see if anybody's still here. Okay, so yeah, the heirs are not in Europe, you said. Oh, you just sent something else too. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sending documents and everything. I'm really excited to look at them. Absolutely. And good to reconnect too. I see, it looks like you're the only person left on here, so. Mm-hmm. Good to reconnect. I know you're still out here teaching. And peace and love, everyone. We're here. We're here. We were just kind of checking out some things, going over some historical information. But yeah, if you come on here, check out Amani Bey's YouTube channel, y'all. He's in the comments here, and it's definitely teaching us a lot about who we are as people from these parts of the world. Oh, you got some more to send? Ah! Yes, I love it. But we were just kind of just freestyling topics today. I'm just at this little cute little bakery and just vibing. We're here in Brazil. We're here in the south of, kind of central south of Brazil, São Paulo area. Um, Wonderful metropolitan area. I'm just super grateful to be here with my children, enjoying the peace of Brazil. And that's where we're at. You know, we left the Caribbean about a month and a half, maybe about 4 or 5, almost 5 weeks ago. And we were in the States, and now we're down here in Brazil, and we'll probably just post up here. The last time we were here, we came and didn't leave for like 15 months, so 14 months. We ended up just hanging out for a while, you know. And then we also went to Costa Rica during that time. That was all during the pandemic. Went to Costa Rica. That was nice too, in a different type of way. So yeah, we are here, y'all. If you have any questions at all, you can hit me up down in the chat. Ask me anything. And also, I was asking you all to let me know where you would want to go if you're interested in Sao Paulo. What would you like to see? Because I'm going to try to do some videos of the marketplaces. They have these huge marketplaces that people kind of like the shopping videos. And just, you know, there's a lot of amazing stuff for brown folk down here, too, that I like to put up here. They have an Afro-Brazilian museum that we want to go to, and it's great because it's right next to our favorite city park here, you know. So we're going to get that. We're going to get that video going from the museum and show you some of the artwork and just the interesting, you know, kind of take on things from the Afro-Brazilian perspective, right? Yeah. Got those things coming up. So if there's anything else you would be interested in, any particular type of content, like I was saying, I wish I could get up and do edited videos and all that, but I work a lot and busy with my kids, so I really can't do the editing like that, but I can do the vertical lives and build with y'all like this. So I'm going to look for those extra documents too, Amani. I'm going to get ready to walk back because I got to go to this bank that I used to have an account at and see if they can help me enliven my account. I want my account back. Oh, okay, I just got another one. Wonderful. Yes. Oh, now people starting to come on, make me not want to get off of here. Yeah, man, you guys, I'm out here. If you have any questions about also lifestyles and how you can live, you know, like a holistic lifestyle, how that goes down here. You know, Sao Paulo is somewhere that's really easy to keep a healthy lifestyle going, even an alternative lifestyle. They're up on a lot, and they do a lot. Brazil's always been like that. If you're vegan, gluten-free, if you have special diets, special this, certain types of workouts, access to different, you know, things. It's like you get all access down here. So we can talk about that too, because that's, you know, something that I'm really into. Yes, I got a next document from you, Amani. You're going to have me busy. I better go and get on with my chores, my runs and errands today so I can go and look at some of this stuff. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's Thursday. I have been messing the days of the week up consistently. But have a wonderful, blessed day. Okay? Let's stay in touch. I'll be on every day. I'll probably be on again, Amani, later. I know our time gap is probably very extreme. But, oh, Amani, did you know they had a huge Japanese population down here? Huge. It's like the second largest population of Japanese outside of Japan. Real interesting. We have this amazing. That's another thing. I got to go to Japantown down here. We call it Liberdaji. Amazing. So fly. My kids love it because they get to see all the cosplay and the anime characters, and we get wonderful food down there because there's just a lot of Asian everything, Asian shops. We can go buy all of our stuff that we love, and mochi and all those kind of things. But all right, talk to y'all later. They gonna get me for this video. Talk to y'all. Peace, 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 peace. Thank you so much. I'm gonna look at these things and I'll shoot you an email, Amani. Okay. Good, thanks.